we're seeing it.
Right.
Right. So that's like, I saw that and I was like, that is the point, and I nailed it. And I was like, I got it. So,
You
so we're gonna do that.
you didn't though. I wrote that.
I know, but then I noticed that you wrote it and I understood it.
You thought
See?
you think I'm stupid, or what are you?
No, I think I'm smart
See,
and you're
that's where
smart.
most
Yeah.
men cause problems.
But I also think you're smart. So we can both be equally
The good thing
smart.
about what you think is that I already know. Hi, everyone. All of you. Welcome to season 2 of Between Two Coaches. Did you miss us? We missed you. We're on a mission to make fitness more human. You already know that. Snark, sold separately, and I'm Coach Amanda. I'm joined almost always by my co-host,
Coach Nick. I like that you dropped the almost in there because we were fighting about man has been cheating on us with other podcasts. But thank you so much for joining us. We are back. Like, we're so
Biggity
back.
back.
We have a great episode today. Like, we are going to talk about something. We're going to talk about toxic fitness, running culture, and why we're still seeing it, right? Like, because that's a thing that's still happening and it won't go
I'm
away.
definitely confused by it.
Confused, but we're also back, and it's been a while. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever, probably at least in a year. That changed.
We talk to each other like every 48 hours at a minimum, so I don't know.
Well, but that doesn't count. It has to be like on a podcast.
I think we are fundamentally disagreeing on our interaction. I'm saying it suffices. You're like, it's never going to be enough for me.
That if you get to know me, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. It's never enough.
Fair.
But this is good. It feels right to be back.
It sure does. I know that the people have asked repeatedly. I'm getting some hate messages. Where is the podcast? And I'm like,
no one asked me. I feel like
I will send them to you. I'll send the hate to you. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, send all hate to me. Just send me DMs. I don't even care if they're mean. I just like DMs.
Okay. No, I don't. So I'm sincerely going to be forwarding them to you. Each one. Related or not to the podcast.
Okay. I'm here for it.
What have you been up to? And let's go through. I'm initiating this and I don't know that I can commit to it. Give me 2 things since the last time we spoke that are new, and they can be improved or they can be not improved, happenings for you.
That's really put me on the spot. This is not in our notes, people. We are off the script already, and we're only a few minutes in. Putting me on the spot. What is new about Nick? Well, let's see. We had my kids are all both 1 year older because somehow their birthdays are 3 weeks apart.
What do you
so
mean?
One
Somehow?
of the big things that happened.
Held responsibility in that.
I mean, it's not me. It's Kelly, right? Her body did it. I just was there, right?
We're gonna have to put a special rating on this podcast.
We'll put a disclaimer there that I don't understand how childbirth works, but I can always learn. The more you know.
Not for me.
Yeah, so Chloe's born right after Christmas, so we get to do Christmas and then birthday Christmas, which is fun. And then we threw her birthday party.
Fun?
And
is
she
it
turned
fun
8.
for the I don't think so.
It's not. I mean, it's hard. It's like you're wrapping things in different paper, and then you're trying to like make them be excited about getting more presents a couple days after they already got presents.
It's a little selfish of you, no?
Of them or me?
No, again, like, let's circle back to responsibility. Did you think this one through? Like, oh, they'll be born around Jesus's birthday. Did you think about that?
I know. We didn't. It happened, and we're here. So we did that, and then Amelia's birthday is 3 weeks later. So then we celebrated her birthday.
And you didn't think about that it was right around the Lunar New Year. You didn't think about that.
The Lunar New Year. I mean, yeah, she knew. She told us. She learned in school. But So we have some extra ages, and now I have a 6 and 8 year old, and it feels crazy. So there's
All right, so
that,
your
and
children
then
grew. So far,
my children grew.
that's great.
What's the other big thing? I'm gonna say I had a big fun adventure down in Houston, Texas. This was borderline big changes of my life, but really just a coach hanging out with athletes at a race. But had some fun. Went down and spectated about 5 of my athletes. Met a couple. They ran Houston. For anyone who was there, it was windy. We also got a shout out from a fan at the Starbucks. Shout out to the fan. Thank you for the kudos.
Fan, I apologize for my co-host Nick. For did you ask what the fan's name was, or
No, I got caught off. So we were standing with not only Kafuzi but also Vicky and Train Smart Run Strong, and they said, "I love your podcast," and I just assumed they meant those other two and not ours because I'm taken back. And then they were like, "No,
the man was
so I
startled?
was like, "Well, I was startled. It was very, but it was. I really appreciated it. It was cool. So thank you. Next time I will have some sense of
Let's
social
call
skills
you
and
Lorraine.
introduce myself.
Lorraine, thank you, Lorraine.
Yep.
The
Yep. Thanks,
fans,
Lorraine. Also,
Lorraine.
Nick is working on his social skills for 2025. He is going to be a big boy and talk to people. That's on my list. It was fun. It was very windy for the race, cold for Houston,
Wind
like
is my
18
kryptonite.
degrees. So, but fun race, fun to spend time with your athletes. I think if you're a coach and you can do it, it is super rewarding to be able to be there for an athlete at their big day when they get to do their race and be there at the finish line. It's super awesome. So those were the big things for me.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Amanda? You're two, and you have to say
I don't know
two
that I
because
can.
you started
I
this.
know I did, but I was
Yeah.
just expecting you to do what you needed to do, and it seems as though you have. All right, so two ish. I've made a. I can't really like say this one yet because I technically haven't announced it to.
You're announcing it
No, I
right
can't.
here.
I can't.
Play the breaking news clip.
No, I can't. I can't.
We'll just
I
guess.
that you can do. I have been vision boarding, manifesting slash just really planning. I'm just throwing in Oprah buzzwords for the last 5 years, something for myself, a professional milestone for me. And I have put a date on that professional milestone. And I am super excited to take it on. It impacts my in real life schedule. So I am very much looking forward to that. That's one.
It's exciting. I can't wait for everyone. Please send all your guesses to me and I will read them to Amanda and see
I
which
don't
one
know
is right.
why it was so
She will
complicated
promise to tell
for me
us
to explain
if
that.
I get it right. Yeah. You're just saying, you just say I have a
I
big
have a
secret
oh, that's what
and
people
no
say.
one can know.
See, this is the problem with someone like me is because I don't share things. I don't even know how to share something that is supposed to be like I don't know how to work
Yeah,
up
you,
to
you
it.
tell people you tell people you have a big secret for the next 2 months, and then you might not even have a secret and people forget, but for the next 2 months they'll be really excited and then you just move on.
You know, this feels like for me at least, whenever I see somebody who thinks they're important, share like I have an important race coming up, announcement, stay tuned, and they don't realize that like maybe I'm the only one who doesn't give a fuck, but unless you are literally Beyonce, like I'm not concerned about your announcement, Heather.
But we care here. So it's a big announcement
Okay,
for
that's
us.
fine. So that's one. And then two is since season one, I've been on a dental journey. And next, literally, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're like, who is this person? I don't even recognize.
Look at those
Wow.
teeth.
Wow, wow, wow. So I have about a week and a half left, and your girl is going to be snatched by ways of the smile.
Ooh, we're excited. I'm looking to get in some Invisalign myself. I'm going for an appointment on Thursday to follow in Amanda's footsteps.
Hashtag,
'Cause I want
did I influence you?
hashtag teeth influenced.
Wow. Bless. We're gonna have a
So
little guy here who is a little bit So you guys on the other end may hear some remarks from my son. His name is Bubba, and I know Boo Boo. And that's because his father is missing in action. He's working the Super Bowl.
That's pretty cool. Getting us
It's
tickets.
cool. It's cool, but I for one I'm not good at solo parenting or double parenting. Any parenting, just not good at.
True. There's a lot on your plate right now. I don't know how you're doing it.
Let me be the one to complain about taking care of the lowest maintenance dog on planet Earth. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it. And I tell you this all the time, and every mother listening to this who I support as my client or on the internet, I am in awe of you because I can hardly take care of myself on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so here I am just
I mean,
scratching my French bulldog's ass to keep him quiet this entire episode, and I'm willing to do that for you.
we appreciate that. And honestly, it's not, I mean, with kids, they basically take care of themselves. So it's not really a lot of work. We just kind of, that's the secret. No one wants to tell you, but they're just born. And next thing you know, they're like adults. And like you do a little, sometimes you toss some food their way, you say good job. That's really it, right? The rest of the time, they're just growing.
Somebody check in on Nick's kids and Kelly. Someone check in on them to make sure they're okay. Okay, great.
We are off the rails. Yeah, so we caught up on our real life. That was cool. Amanda shared two things, guys. This is her big 2025 goal. She told me off the line that she doesn't want to admit right now that she wants to share so much more of her life. So
I never.
We're gonna.
I didn't, and I got away with. By the way, I got away with sharing basically only one thing.
The best. Yeah. So season 2, we're on to a review. I can read it because I have worked on my reading skills. A review. Love listening. So fun to listen to Amanda and Nick. Always great running info and info in general. Definitely always in my long run queue. Nicole in San Antonio.
Yes.
Reading that. That's just nice.
Nice, Nicole. That's what we're gonna do for every review. Moving forward, we're gonna do some alliteration. That's so nice, Nicole.
So I like neat, Nicole. That was very neat of you to be.
It was over after I said mine.
Oh dear. Yes. All right. Let's Amanda, I have a grievance, and it's we're season 2. We're grieving more intensely. I think that's the theme. It's 2025.
Binders full of grievances.
Binders full of grievances, and my first one is, it's there.
Are you gonna tell everyone?
It's basically. No, I'm leading them up. Surprise! It is influencer run coaches who are offering all these all-inclusive packages. They're a run coach one day, and then they get a couple more followers, and now they're a strength coach, and a couple more followers, and now they're a nutritionist, right? Or they'll just call themselves a nutrition coach or some word around food, right? Like they can't be a nutritionist because you'll fact check them, but they can be a food expert. They can be a food eater that can teach you how to eat anything, right? Whatever, as long as the word food's in there.
Yes.
But, when they're offering these all-inclusive packages and, they're not fucking Sandals Resort, they're just a run coach, right? And so, what I struggle with is being a run coach, just a coach in general is pretty hard. Like
those of us with credentials who are working with actual people, it's quite a job because it is our job.
It's literally our job, and we spend a lot of time to invest in your athletes and support them and support their goals and be on their journey. And then some people are super qualified, and maybe they have their background in strength training, and that's some of their job too, like my co-host here, and they have some knowledge there and they want to share, so they can do two things. And you know what, for me, two things, that's cool. Like there are people who can do two things, but
I can really only do two things, and I can't do them together. I'm a one. I just find it so infuriating. And I spoke about this on one of the podcasts I cheated on Naughty Nick with. What has been my biggest flex as a professional, and I know Nick operates the same, is recognizing scope of practice and having self-awareness and being ethical. And all three of those things are being called into question when somebody on the internet who has gained a following just decides to, I can't say for sure that because it's so easy to get a run coaching certification. I can't say that this individual. It's actually a few of them. I mean, there are
Oh, there's a
many.
lot.
There are many. This one that's tickled our tits recently, I shared with Nick because I was like, "What is happening with this person? Like, what is going on? I can't." And then, of course, I look at the caption of all of these, and there are 30 discount codes associated with like a 7-second reel of her running into the mountains. What are we doing? How did we get here? How did we get here? It is, you do not have any credentials in nutrition just because you can lift a fork to your mouth, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what gets me. It's like I mean, all I say is like, you can do it. Like, don't we it just feels dirty because it feels like we're just trying to tack on all this stuff we can offer so we can charge a higher
So
rate,
dirty.
right? Like, and like you can't do three things at the level someone needs. Like, so if you think you're giving someone full on, food coverage and helping them figure out their diet and then also what to eat and then also strength training them at the level they need and also run coaching, like, no, you can't. One person can't do that. And what I always appreciate when I hear from athletes, and I've heard from a lot in my stories of like their coach is like, their coach tells them like, I can do strength and running, but I'm going to be your run coach. And their strength coach is like, I can do strength and running, but I'm going to be
Mhm.
your strength coach. And that's it. And like understanding that like I only can give you what you need at the level of time I have and or just the expertise I have in one thing instead of trying to double it up. And really it's tripling up that gets me. It's just it's not something that can be done. And so I just my ask to the community is when you see people who keep adding these credentials after themselves and whether even they have the certificate or not and they try and offer you an all-inclusive package, like just be wary some of it, be wondering why, like be noticing that they're probably gaining more followers and they just need to make more coin off you. And like there's probably an expert out there that can give you real nutrition or strength or run coach at that one level and be
If
much
it
cheaper.
sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Like,
Well, that's always the
yeah,
motto.
it's just like I had somebody who followed me recently ask if I was taking athletes, and I said I was, and she asked if I was qualified to get like to work on her diet with her, and I said no. And the amount of times that's happened to me is I cannot count in my career. And do you know how much more money I would make?
Yeah.
Right? Like if I was just like, yes, because is it really easy to quote unquote fake that up front? 100%, especially you know no better, right? And if you, I've said this before, if you ever have a question about somebody's credentials, one, ask them. Two, ask them for people who they've worked with. Like you can ask for referrals. Or three, like, and I'm volunteering Nick and I for this because this happens to me, like you can with confidence share somebody who you think you're like, I'm not sure if this person is credentialed. Not that Nick and I would necessarily know better, but we've been doing this for long enough where we're like, it might be best for you to hire someone like, and we have referrals, right? People who we work with all the time who are fan fucking tastic, who would be happy to support you in your journey, whatever that is, whether it's needing to hire a physical therapist, a sports dietitian, a mental health therapist, right? So we're the ones who refer out and we would be happy to help you with that.
I always turn down people and they're like, "Do you do strength?" And I'm like, "Nope. I That's not my practice to you is your coaching and running, and that's what I'm going to do." So yeah, we're aligned already in season one,
It's season
and
2.
I know it's I caught you. See, it's not what happened, and that's that bullshit.
Good, good way. Good way to get away.
Good
Good way to get
save.
away.
What a Tregway there. So shall we chat about our little topic?
Yeah. So today we're talking about toxic fitness. Oh, before we do that, break. No, I'm just kidding. Something we did want to share. This is like a real life. This is a real life newsy kind of thing. if you're looking at the screen, we are partnering with Crank E-Gel for a special way that you can not only support the podcast, but support your fueling needs. As you know, if you follow us on social, we love Crank Sports, and we're holding it up right now for the cam.
We are. I'm back.
You can use code B as in between, the number 2, and then C for coach at checkout. You'll get some money off. You'll support the podcast. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, everyone.
What's your favorite flavor, Nick? Or favorite product of theirs?
I like the cherry bomb. That's been my favorite so far. What about you?
So I like juicy watermelon, Mountain Rush.
Mountain Rush.
I combined it with tropical blasts. I'm a fan of all 3 of those, and I just started using caffeine on my runs by ways of, well, I don't drink coffee in the morning. So I was literally,
it's going to give you such a performance
boost.
Trying
something new. And Crank Sports just came out with a caffeinated line. And this is my new favorite, Chakalaka. And what I like about it is it has the same specs as their non-caffeinated gel. So it's a high carb gel, 37 grams, 230 milligrams of sodium, and it has 15 milligrams of caffeine in it.
That's great. Love it. 50 milligrams of caffeine is good too. There's some gels out there that offer 100 and 200. There's a lot for people. If you've never had a caffeinated gel, even if you drink coffee, start with 50 milligrams. Don't go all out. Don't go to 200. That will probably kill you. Maybe not. But I'm a big fan of caffeinated gels, honestly. I think they're an underutilized source of performance help, but they also come with potential GI issues. So do some testing and training.
Yep. That's why you got to get yours now.
Yeah.
For your races and your caffeinated life / uncaffeinated. I don't see you're not taking a gel tonight. I thought you said you were going to do that on camera.
Might in a little bit. We'll see how it flows.
Okay. You're another man I can't trust. Great. Just need another one. Another man in government I can't trust. Okay. I said what I said. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so we got a few things that we want to talk about. So we'll go over the few and then go a little deeper as to our why. Does that feel right?
Yeah. It feels right to me.
So a few things that we're still seeing and we're not sure why we're seeing, but we're going to guess. Runners chatting about or arguing with people on how many gels they should be taking on a run or just fueling for their workouts, I would say in general. Then there's the more is always better crowd. Okay. And finally, working out through injuries.
Our favorite. Still there. All these things are still kicking.
Just like the fracture, it's still there.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about runners and gels and just, the big part of this is, so I just constantly see runners talking about how they don't take gels or don't need gels, and it is 2025 and there's so much research that this nonsense should stop. 2, it's also people fighting people about taking gels. Like, why? Like, why does that bother you? Like if someone wants to take a gel on a 40-minute run, okay. Like, why does that bother you? Why are you going to get up in people's faces about it? Why are you going to comment on their reels or stuff or act like, oh, that's so dumb, it's not going to help you at all? Who cares? Maybe they're training their gut. Maybe they need gel. Maybe they didn't, whatever reason they want to take that gel. That's okay. And if it triggers you that much, it says more about you than it does about like that person who took a gel for their 40-minute run. So, I think that is my big issue with all this. What are you thinking about it?
I was smiling because I shared this week. I don't share all of them, but I share the ones that tickle me the most. Anyone who comments on, I've had a few reels like related to fueling short runs, and I do it on purpose, of course, go quote unquote viral for me. And the reason being that it's still happening, that there are people on the internet, they mainly are men, but could be anyone, who cannot help themselves. And they're like, but you don't need to eat during a 30-minute run. And so I just simply, I'm like, why does it bother you when someone eats? And it also comes from an insane place of privilege to not take into consideration, here are some reasons why someone would fuel a short run. Maybe they are training their gut, like Coach Nick said. Maybe they have their period. It's their time of the month during their cycle, and they actually need to be more concerned with carbohydrates when they're working out. Maybe they're heading into that 30-minute run without really having much in them before. Maybe they're coming back from low energy availability or a fracture, and maybe they just fucking want to eat.
And maybe they needed to get through their podcast episode. So I'm going to take this gel because I'm going to trigger all the people while Amanda talks to you about some more stuff.
He needs that gel because he's working hard, okay?
Working hard for you, people.
Do you have any...
I'm here working.
Any fluids nearby?
I do, right here. We're taking it live. This is, if you don't have your cameras on, you're not watching the video. You need to see it
on YouTube. Honestly, I would take mine, but I go to bed in about an hour, and I won't be doing that.
Here we go. 37 grams of carbs. I am ready for the rest of this episode. We're going to get through this. Now I'm ready. Let's go, people. The episode just started.
Gel because he felt like it. You see? Be like Nick.
Damn right. Be like Nick. It's the first time I heard that. And so also around this topic I find interesting is there's a lot of influencers out there who defend their incorrect practice around fueling as my body's different. Cool. Your body's different. Right? That's great. You did it. You showed us.
You're not special.
I don't even care what your damn clock says when you finish. But then there's these same people who say their body's different. And then they're like, you know what? I sell running templates. I sell running training plans. You should buy them from me. But
because your
body is so different. Yeah, but if your body is so different, how could we sell math? The math isn't mathing. If your body's different, so we can't follow your templates. We would need a different type of training. Like, I would tell you people, or I would tell our audience that if you see these people who are pushing this agenda about you don't need fueling, maybe you should question whether they really know what they're talking about as a running coach or as someone who sells running plans, or maybe they'll probably become a nutrition coach at some point. So maybe question that too. So, I think there's also, at the end of the day, I think we still see it a lot because I think people use it as a badge of honor. I did this run and I raw dogged this run, and now we said we were never going to do that. And now we're doing it. But, I didn't need any fuel or any gels or any water to do 20 miles. Cool. Anyone can do that. We don't want to because we're not stupid.
Right. We know better, so we do better now.
And the thing people always forget about these idiotic practices is it will catch up with you. You have one body. We're not just saying you can't do you couldn't do a marathon without a gel or water. You probably could. Whoop-de-doo. Will you be injured because of this? Probably. Will something bad happen to your body if you keep this up?
It's not if,
Absolutely.
it's when. And I think that is the biggest flub for people. They think that they're untouchable and that it hasn't happened to them. Get ahead. Get ahead of it. What is wrong with you? And it's
free energy.
Right. Why would I opt for being in a deficit? And it's not just about performance. I'm also a little tired of seeing that people are like, well, you could get PRs if you just fueled more. You'll avoid bonking. Yeah, you also may avoid a bone stress fracture or being in a chronic low energy. There are big things that are going to happen to your body that may not be happening right now, but the cumulative fatigue that you've put on your system will catch up with you. So it comes down to actual health. It's not just about performance. I don't care if I'm never fast from taking a gel. I know that I'm not putting myself in a low energy state a low carbohydrate state and putting myself in a position where I get a DEXA scan and I'm in my Z score is low. Like I don't see why that isn't what we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's not 2011, it's not 2012, it's not 2013 where there's one gel and it's goo and it tastes miserable. Sorry, goo. I just don't like the taste of your gels. But there's 70 different gel options and then fluids you can drink and anything you can do. There's so many options today. So just saying that this gel doesn't sit right in my stomach, cool. Try another one. Keep trying. Like this isn't the world where you just have to suffer through a gel that's going to make you sick. There's enough out there that where you can find an option that works. Did we beat that one to the ground? Because I'm full of energy now. I'm ready to go.
We sure did. We sure did.
Season 2.
All right, let's move it. Oh, season 2. Season 2. Okay. The more is always better crowd. Why don't you start us off there, Nick?
Yeah, you still see it. This crowd of people who are pushing more and more miles, more and more intensity each week, because you just have to get serious, right? If you aren't doing more, then you aren't doing enough. That's this crowd, right? And so, you got these running AI apps that are running people literally into the ground. I don't understand this. I won't call out the company. I already did on my stories if you've seen it. They are just pushing people too far. And, one of the things you'd be surprised to know if you aren't a coach or if you haven't worked with one is that one of the biggest things we do is we help you do less because 99% of the athletes that come to us are doing too much and they need to do less because they are worried and struggling through this comparison hell that exists in social media that didn't exist a long time ago. And they just need to say, hey, I don't need to do, like, I could do a little less and feel better. Maybe I can do less junk miles, we'll call it, like, or just
Right.
less miles, less intensity, like other things.
Maybe on your rest day, we are not plugging in a 3-mile walk and a Pilates session. That's why you hire us, so that fitness and performance gains are best achieved with the minimal effective dose. And that is why you work with a professional, because these apps cannot tell you what your body's minimal effective dose is. Most of them cannot. They are not taking into account.
And neither can influencers who aren't just like pushing you. Like they're like, well, I do 100 miles and you need it for your goals because that's what helped me. Like what behind that story is maybe this runner's been running for 15 years and they worked their way up from 50 miles to 100 and you're a brand new runner and you're like, oh, well, I need my goals. So, I think it's so much is like this fear and lack of confidence when it comes to comparison, right? So why do we keep seeing it? I think we keep seeing it because of this comparison trap, right? I bet I'd be surprised if most people, if you walked around, you had no clue back in the old days where we didn't have online training logs, Strava to compare, and you walked around, you had no clue how many miles or workouts your friend did. Maybe they're a similar pace as you, and they're training, and you have no clue what they're doing. I bet you'd be so happy with what you're doing, and you wouldn't walk around being like, I need more, I need more, I need more. It's when you hop on social media and someone's, quoting David Goggins and telling you to push till you're dead. And there's no time to rest. And then you're looking on Strava because you're doom scrolling and every single person did 22 miles today and you only did 18.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're like, maybe put my shoes on. I'll go do another 4. And as ridiculous as that sounds, it is happening constantly. It is people just going back out for more because they didn't feel like they did enough. And also
that is happening.
To the ground anyway. It's happening. I see it way too much. And also let's be real clear, that extra 4 miles isn't doing it. The 22 miles should be all at once. Anyway, I digress on that. I think maybe sometimes it's okay to get away from the numbers of others, get away from the comparison, just focus on yourself and your journey and just say, I'm doing enough for me in this moment. And if you don't know what enough it is, work with a running coach. There's a lot of templates to do a great job written by real people and not some algorithm that has been crafted usually by people who do too much anyway. So trust the people. You see the people you want to get a template from, trust that they know what they're doing and they will give you a template that meets your needs, like we said, to the bare minimum. And, I think people will be more confident. You would be more confident in your own training if you stopped looking at others as what I need to do.
Yes. I personally went through, I had a Strava profile that was public for a short period of time last year. Prior to that, I was private. I went back to private, and I now don't like, I literally am using it just to log mileage on my shoes because I have no idea. I was going between two watches at the time. Half of the stuff was on my Garmin. Now I'm a Coros girly, so now it's on the Cor. So I'm like,
That's a big change.
it isn't for someone like me who never used a Garmin for more than time. Like, if you ever have run with me, and very few of you have, specifically like Vicky and Treg, I guess will can attest to this, and
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 me.
you. I don't even like. I'm looking at the watch as time. Like, if we, I can't tell you. I cannot tell you if I stop that watch. I was not utilizing that watch correctly. I like the chorus. I like the chorus, and it's making me
Yeah,
happy.
yeah.
In any event, I went back, I think in December. I was like, I'm turning Strava off again. I'm not on it to look at a feed. I don't need kudos. Like, I'm good. I'm real good. And wow, what a breath of fresh air it is for me personally to not have somebody comment on my Strava. I don't care if I know you. Like, I just don't need you watching me. I'm good.
You only did 12 today, Amanda? Or great, only 12. I feel like I'm lucked out. I don't have the comparison, at least when it comes to running. I didn't have the comparison gene. And everything else in life, I'm always comparing. But like, I was very lucky in life that like I'd watch my friends who were the same pace as me and they'd run 40 miles more than per week than me. And the first instinct wouldn't be do more to get my goals. It would be okay, I can't handle that. And that's okay. I think I lucked out, and I think that helped me get a lot of success in running because I met myself where I'm at and where I'm supposed to be. And, we both work with athletes. A lot of them really appreciate that we hold them back or keep them where they're at or help them grow slowly. And they have success because of it, not because of it was some random number someone said the internet is what you need to run sub
Mm-hmm.
3, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
nonsense. So, did we beat this one too?
I don't think we can ever finish talking about
That's true.
comparison, but yes, we can.
No.
We
But
can. For
for today,
today, yes. Yes. All right.
we're on to the last
I would
one.
say last but not least, but that's not true. It's definitely the most. Working out through injuries. Why are we still doing this? I very, very exhausted from it's not just influencers without credentials, but who have like thin privilege, fast finishing times, a big following on social media. It's also professionals in our space documenting along with their entire following irresponsibly their injury quote unquote recovery journey. And it is a chaotic cross training sandwich that they've designed either with the help of, and by help I mean harm, of others on the internet equating certain things like, oh, like if you needed to get in a 90-minute run, but you have a stress fracture, instead, what you can do is 10 minutes per mile of that 9-mile run and do 10 and do 30 minutes on the Stairmaster. You could do 20 minutes
Some
on, the Peloton. You can do, and you're just doing math. And really what it's telling me is that you need to take a step back. Your body is screaming for you to take a step back. And you're just continuing to stress it out. And you're documenting this journey for others to see and to be inspired by. And I think that what makes me so sad, so sad, is seeing others who know better enable this behavior on the internet.
so much
They're in
enablement,
the
right? And
comments
that's like,
section, like with the swiftness
yeah,
saying, proud of you.
way to go, you did it. That's like the. I was having this conversation with someone too, and like and we're talking about here is not just like this exists too, but these runners who testy test run and they're going out and oh we'll see, like that's okay, sure, like maybe chill on that too. But most of the time when someone does that, their testy test tells them they shouldn't run and they stop.
Nope,
So
nope.
maybe just chill on how many testy test runs you do, but like that's not what we're talking about here. It's everything Amanda laid out, and then it's like it's when the community gets toxic, right? And so this is we're talking about toxicity here, and the community sometimes encouraged this so much that now people feel like whether it's right or wrong, and even if they were worried they were doing the right thing, now they're getting kudos, so they know it's right, right? They're going to get more kudos, more likes, more shares. Every time I see a reel go by that is like someone running through an injury or something, it's viral, right? It's 10,000 likes, it's 2 million views. I ran through an injury and I didn't die. Okay, and it's everyone I know who's a professional in the sport is in there going, "Great job, way to go, you did it. You were really smart with your body." And it's like, "No, you were none of those things. Sorry." I it's the encouragement that gets me, because I think people are so worried that like they want to just be nice to their friends or they're nice to their influencers, so they have to
You're
say
not
something. But
helping
you
them.
don't have to say
Yeah.
anything. No, you're encouraging, and you're not just encouraging them. Everyone who reads that and sees you and sees this viral reel now thinks this is the
And
right
that
thing to
you
do, right?
support
And
it, and
there,
that
yep.
this is what discipline looks like, and it's not. It's incredibly disordered.
Yeah, and I think like where this sets you back, it's like, I don't think people a lot of people just think, "Oh, what's the worst happen? I get a stress fracture, right? And then it'll just heal after, 6 to 8 weeks because bones just always heal." Wrong, right? Like, sure, sometimes they do, but like that's not always the case. And also, like, there are many scenarios where you pushing too far too long ends you up with some injury that's gonna last years. Every single one of us probably follows someone on Instagram who's talking about being an injury cycle for 2+ years. You go back 2 years, 3 years, they were doing the same stuff. They were running through injuries. Some had bad luck, but most of them were running through injuries, running through things, and it didn't work out. And they just kept pushing. And then all of a sudden, they don't know what happened, right? And so we always say in running or in fitness world, like it's all in the training log, right? Like you can look back at your log and you see where it broke down. Like it's always there. It's not some, oh, this came out of nowhere. No, no, it's right here. And so, I think it's if you really want to care about your athletics and your sport and like taking care of your
Mm.
body, like drop the kudos. Don't worry about like the likes you'll get from running through this injury or coming back from an injury where you had 0 miles and all of a sudden this week you're back to normal mileage in a week. That's not right. Like there's so many calculators. I'll tell you science. They'll tell you how to come back from an injury. Just Google it. It's not 0 to 100% one week. And so like, it's just it's going to set you back so much more than you need to, and it's really going to upset you because you're going to get older and you're going to be sad your body can't support your
That's right.
running or your any athletics, and it's going to be because you were doing stuff like this.
Yes. I no notes, Coach Nick. No notes.
Slay.
Big slay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's we did it. We darn done
We
did
did
it.
it.
Do you want to
Yes.
tell the people about some super secret thing that's coming out this month?
We are excited to launch a not super secret, super public, but you have to purchase because it's private. Patreon.
Yeah, everyone seems to be doing it, right?
Right. But I will also say there were several of you who have supported us financially. And, we're not going to be digging too deep into your pockets to support us, but we want to provide you with more valuable content, some stuff that we as professionals provide the folks who work with us in a closed, safe space. Maybe it's not so safe. It might not be so safe. It might be the opposite of safe.
True. But and for all of you, Amanda's going to share personal details and lots of herself on there. It's like a behind the scenes look. It's really just a behind the scenes look into Amanda's life. I mean, I'll be there, but it's really just it's about
No,
Amanda.
so I won't be doing any of that. But you will have to subscribe and join us on the Patreon at the date that we launch it. TBD.
But it is coming. It's in the works. We're excited about it. We're excited to bring a little extra content every month and a little different than our I don't know. Maybe we're a little serious on here. I think we're somewhat not, but a little less serious, a little more us and doing some fun stuff. So we have some ideas. We're excited to bring it to you, and that's why I'm the Patreon prince. If you're watching the video,
It doesn't say Patreon Prince on YouTube though. But will?
Oh, it's a bummer. I don't know. know. We'll see. It
Well,
might.
if that's the case, mine says bad bitch bones.
Surprise
and
for
I
you
want it
guys
there.
if you're
I
watching.
want the bad bitch bones. All right. Should I close this mother?
Season 2 is in effect.
I was going to say it's a wrap. It's a wrap. We're taking another break. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Feel free to reach out to us at any time. Follow us along on our Instagrams, and you can email us betweentwocoaches@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time.